both countries, India and Pakistan, learned something from what happened in Balakot in 2019. For India, I think the biggest lesson was a validation of the concept it had been trying to implement for some time of what some Indian strategists would call finding space for conventional operations, right, below the nuclear threshold. For years, there was a sense that India could not conduct conventional operations for risk of escalation to past the nuclear threshold. It's been seeking this for some time, and in Balakot, I think the lesson that it took for itself is that at every stage of a crisis, it has off-ramps, it has decision points throughout the crisis. It doesn't need to either opt into a crisis or opt out of it. It can opt in at one point in time and then opt out later. This, I think, is the lesson that many decision makers in New Delhi will draw, that they will pat themselves on the back, that they found space for conventional operations. They elevated risk perhaps, but they managed to find an off-ramp without things getting out of control, thereby contradicting all the naysayers who were suggesting that the region is too dangerous for an Indian reprisal attack. The open question in my mind is how far India will take that, especially with options for large-scale ground operations, right? For a couple of decades, India has been toying with this idea of developing military options for large-scale ground punitive attacks against Pakistan under the rubric initially of cold start. Now it's been implementing that with the notion of integrated battle groups. The question is, to what extent will it take that lesson of Balakot and apply it to scaled up, orders of magnitude scaled up notion of conventional operations against Pakistan? For Pakistan, I think the biggest lesson was, again, that the nuclear threat alone won't stop India from seeking a reprisal for cross-border terrorism. I don't know how Pakistan will integrate that lesson. Clearly, even in Balakot, they had contingency options as they launched the air assault. But for them, it seems that the lesson learned is that simply having the latent threat of nuclear retaliation is not enough, that something else has to be available should India conduct a punitive attack. One thing I should add that Pakistan did not learn was that its subconventional campaign is dangerous. I'd suggest that Pakistan persists with that campaign and there is every indication that it will continue to persist with that. And in that sense, I don't think India established deterrence like it sought to do with Balakot.
If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the Pulwama-Balakot crisis, please check out the other videos in our special series and go to stratlearning.org to enroll for free in our online courses.